Hi everyone and welcome to my place. I've got a really great, easy to achieve sewing craft for those of you who are learning to sew. And pretty much what we're going to do is take 2 of these table mats, the round ones, and we're going to turn them into either a handbag or a carry bag, or it might even be for taking your stuff to the beach come these holidays. When I first started doing these, we used to use these raffia, or is it raffia, like raffia or grass placemats, and I had heaps and heaps and heaps of these, and I have no idea where they are now. And probably given them away, and I can't actually find them to buy them, but I started off using these, and I think if memory serves me correctly, it was a project that I learnt to do with a wonderful sewing teacher I had many years ago. So because we can't get those, we're going to use these, and these are very inexpensive. I bought 6 in a pack for, I don't know, under $10, so I thought that that was a good deal. So basically what you're going to need is 2 of these. You're going to need a tape measure. You might even need a ruler. You'll need some pins, you'll need some scissors, you will also need a sewing machine. And to embellish them, what I'm going to do is I've already shown you how to make these roses out of leather. You're also going to need some handles, and if you want to put some rope, you'll need some rope for handles. So I bought a couple of sets of these, and I think you can get them on Amazon or eBay, and they're pretty inexpensive. I don't know, of just a few bucks, but they're really perfect for what I want to use today. Right, the other thing you're going to need is 2 pieces of leather about this long, and with these what we're going to do is we're going to cut them in half so that they're about 2 inches long, and the job of this is going to be to fix these handles. So we're just going to pretty much put that onto there, and we're going to fix these, sew these onto the inside of the bag. So, and the reason I'm doing that, you could hand sew those on if you wanted to, but I found that by having the leather, it just made those just a little bit swivelly and a little bit easier to work with. So just give me a few minutes and I'll get all of my bits and pieces ready, and I'll show you how to fix the handle into place. Okay, so once you've achieved that, it's just a matter of taking those over to your bag, and then you're just going to pin. Now the leather or vinyl or whatever you use is going to be just a little bit difficult to get your pin through. So what I've done is I've just stabilized it there and just taken the pin through and over to the other side, and then it's just a matter of repeating it on the other side and bringing those little edges there together. Get rid of that string because you don't need that, and then just placing these on the inside of the bag. Another pin through to there like so, and then pushing that through to there. Now getting rid of all of this because we do not need this, but we do need these. Now going over to your sewing machine, glasses on, and you have to very gently and very slowly fix these on just by putting, oops, hold on, let me just get myself, so putting the needle through all of those. And when I say you need to go slowly, I mean you need to go slowly, otherwise you will break the needle, and you might just have to give it a wee pull as you go there, but just do it nice and slowly until you get to the other side. And then don't forget that we're going to back stitch through. Take that pin there out, lift up the foot, pull that out, and then, as I said last week when we did our first easy sewing, cut all those threads out of the way. Now we'll go to the other side. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, why is she doing that at this stage? Why doesn't she do this at the end? Well, when I was coming up and trying to remember how I did all of this, it was putting the handles on first makes the whole process much easier. Now, if you hear your machine going, it means that it's under a little bit of stress. So it's just a matter of just lifting your foot and then going, back stitching, and just coming forward a bit. So if it goes, just give that, get your little wee stitcher, this little wheel on the side here, and just to actually help to take it through. Right, that's one set of handles on, cutting those bits off there, cutting that off and cutting that off. So there's one set done. So give me a moment and I will do the others, and then we'll put the bag together, and look, you're just about done. Right, both handles are done, and it's now just a matter of bringing your handles together, making sure when you bring them together that the bits that you've stitched are actually on the inside. And I know that I've used the black there, and you're probably thinking, why didn't I use something that was more matching? It was just that that's all that I had on hand, and I thought that that would be the best way of showing you how I had done it. Right, from there, the next thing is to get your bag and just pull it down like so, so that you've got a quarter, you know where that quarter way mark is, because that's where we're going to start pinning to. So from there, because you need to be able to still get into this, so starting from there, and just that's where my ruler came in handy, and then just taking that across there, and then just pinning to the other side, making sure that your edges are all neat and tidy. And before you go any further, just have a wee check to make sure that that's going to be a big enough opening to get in and out of there. Okay, so once you've done that, it's just a matter of getting your pins and going around the edge and pinning those all together, making sure that they are nice and even and edge to edge, as I've already said, because you don't want your bag to not be the right. So see what I mean by you need to have, see how I've got that there and there's a couple of mils into there? Well, we actually really don't want that. We want everything to be nicely meeting and nice and neat. And the reason I'm having issues is because I haven't done that properly. So I'll just take that out of there, and I need to make sure that my handles are going to be nice and even. Pinning that to there, and then I just need one more pin. And look, I tend to over pin. In fact, I think that more pins is a really great way of moving forward because it saves time now. Okay, right, from there, once you've done that, have I got enough opening room? Yes, I have. Now taking this back to the machine, bringing your threads. Remember last week I said to you to bring, or I'll just tell you again, when you've got your top thread, which is this one here, and you've got your bottom one, which is your bobbin one, this is when you need to bring them through. There's a little wee hole on the foot. Bring those threads through to there so that they are out of the way. Now, taking that pin out before we start, taking that, and I'm going to have like about, when you see the runs in here, I'm going to be sewing just as that third little run starts, just a wee bit on this side. So probably I'd say halfway between that little line there and that line there. So bring your foot down, lower it, bring your needle down, and very slowly we are just going to do a few stitches and then go back stitch, and then it's just a matter of following that line all the way around. When you get to a pin, stop, take the pin out, and as you're going, just have a wee feel around the sides to make sure that both of your wee edges are together. Keep going around till you get to the next pin. Take the needle down just by using the wheel at the side there. Take that down so that it stays in place, and then just continuing around, stopping at the pin. Take your wheel, take that needle down so that nothing slips out. Continue around, and as I said, like by doing the handles as I've done them, just ensures that everything's going to be all neat and tidy before we go too far. Back stitch when you get to the end, lift up your foot, gently, gently, gently just turn the wheel to release that fabric. the extra threads, take that through to there, cut that off, make sure that these are all cut and neat before you go any further. It's easier to stop and do this now than it is at the end. So look at that, ta-da! A bag, a lovely handbag, and if you wanted to, you could put like a little wee hook and eye there or a little wee attachment, but I don't even bother worrying about that. Okay, so from there, it's now a moment when we can embellish a bag. As it is, it's fine, but I think we could take it to another level. So give me a couple of minutes to get the glue gun on, and then when I come back, I'll show you how to embellish it. You know, I just love it. Look how much room's in there. Now, I must just tell you that when you're to know what stitch length to use, I used a 3. So on your machine, it'll give you all sorts of numbers from 0 up to 4, 4 being your largest stitch, which is what you would use for gathering. Well, I used a 3, which was plenty strong enough for what I'm doing. Okay, it's up to embellishing. Now, as I said earlier on, I used the black. The reason I used the black were 2 reasons. One, so that you could see it, but the other reason was so that when I put my rose onto it, but it's just now a matter of gluing that on top of the surface of your rose. And a little tip from me, just put a little bit of baking paper or parchment paper into there, just in case the glue, as we fix it to the outside, and I just must admit, I'm going to buy myself, before the week is out, I'm going to buy myself a new glue gun. That just gets pressed down on top of there. And what I did, the other thing I've done there is I found a lovely little wee wooden button that I've just stuck or glued. No, I didn't actually. I actually used a little bit of jute to just fix that button onto the middle of that little rose there. So there, let me just check, nothing came through. So that wasn't necessary, but at least it worked. So there is one particular bag. Now the other bag I want to show you is what I use for going to the beach. And I love this bag, and so does everybody else when they see it. And I've made so many of these for gifts. So what I did was I got some long bits of string. I've just done a little bit of fraying there, not there, and then I've just stitched across here. And when you're stitching it, all you need to do is to just sort of like untangle those fibres so that you've got a flat area to sew across, and it will sort of like curl itself back into place, but it's easier to get across those flat fibres as opposed to getting through that big bit there. Now to embellish that, let me just put a bit of paper into there because it's beach and I want it to look a little bit sort of like raw and organic. I've got this little rose, and onto this inside of this I've used another little wooden button that looks like a little flower, and I'll just glue that. Oh, this glue gun's driving me nuts. It's going to be getting the big cast aside. Stick that onto there. You might have something else that you might like to put into there, but I just felt that that little rose, the leather rose, was also was really more in keeping with, well, personally what I liked anyway. So just let that give that a good push down there and wait until that dries. It's going to take a couple of seconds to dry, but I'm in such a hurry here. Well, no, I'm not really, but I know that you've got other things to do. I want to show you what I put into there, and this will fit a towel, a sarong, my bathers, my hat, and I'm going to show you how to make one of these hats. One of these hats is actually just one of these mats. Where's the mat? It's actually just one of these mats, and you just remove one side like so, and then that goes around your head, but I'll show you how to do that another day. But these hats have been such great things because they just all sort of like roll into nothing. And I've got a little wee band here that I use for putting on that so that it's all nice and neat and contained. And the other thing that I put into that is my sunscreen lotion and my Bugs Be Gone. So it's really handy, and goodness only knows where my glasses are. They're ways gone west. Okay, so it's just a matter of into here. Watch this. You can get so much into this, and they're really strong. Put those down the bottom there. Put that into there. There is my hat, and ta-da! It's a perfect gift and it's a perfect craft sewing project that actually has a useful end. So I hope you've enjoyed today's third lesson. I look forward to seeing you all again another day, and if there is anything that I can help you with in regard to sewing, please drop me a line to astar'splace@gmail.com. I will see you again another day.